Well, tonight with me, I have Pastor Jacob Jakfu. Karibu sana for coming.
Asante.
I know now people, by the time, I don't even need to mention your name. Just by seeing your face, they know that's Pastor Jacob.
We thank God for the fellowship.
Karibu sana.
Asante.
Yes. And Pastor Jacob, what we're about to talk about is something that resonates with me deeply. Maybe it's because of where I am at currently in my life and the season that I am in. That God understands.
Yes.
And for a fact, and maybe you can bear witness with me,
Yes.
there are times we feel as if he doesn't.
Yes.
Maybe
Sure.
because of what you're going through, maybe because of there's many turmoils that one goes through, and you feel, if he understands, then he would have allowed me not to go through this.
Yeah.
If he understands, he would not have taken this person that I loved so much, in death. If God understands, then why am I having to go through all this? And maybe tonight you are God sent to just affirm that and put that as a stamp to remind us that God understands.
Yes. We are social beings.
Yes.
And we all want to know that someone identifies with what we're going through. When we go through some hard times, you may not offer me help, but you're my sister. I just want to feel that you identify with her. So sometimes I don't even need an advice. I just want to pour out my heart to you.
Yeah.
At least listen to me.
Yeah.
So naturally, we want to feel that someone understands. And the amazing thing with Jesus, he's not like me. If I may understand, but I may not have the power to help you. I love you, but I don't have the power to deliver you. But when God loves, he loves with power. And that's what I want us to talk about tonight, that Jesus understands. Well, you can read us Hebrews 4:15 with the New King James. I'm going to read with the Message version.
All right, I love the Message version actually.
Okay.
Hebrews chapter 4 verses 15, the Bible says, "For we do not have a high priest
Yes.
who cannot sympathize with our weaknesses, but was in all points tempted as we are, yet without sin."
Yes. I'm going to read from Message version, but I would like to read from 14 up to 16.
Okay.
Now that we know what we have, Jesus, this great high priest, with ready access to God, let's not let it slip through our fingers. We don't have a priest who is out of touch with our reality.
Wow.
He's been through weakness and testing, experienced it all but the sin. So let's walk right up to him and get what he is so ready to give. Take the mercy, accept the help.
Please repeat it again.
Now
Yes.
that we know what we have,
Uh-huh.
so he wants us to know that we need to understand who is Jesus.
Yes.
Why is he a high priest? I'm going to explain that. Jesus, this great high priest with ready access to God. We all want that access. No, this man called Jesus, he's the ready high priest. Let's not let it slip through our fingers, as it happens most of the times. We don't have a priest who is out of touch with our reality. So that's a
Wow.
reverse way of putting it.
Wow.
The straightforward means we have a high priest who is in touch with the reality.
Yeah.
He's been through weakness and testing, experienced it all
Oh my God.
but the sin. So let's walk right up to him and get what he's so ready to give. Take the mercy, accept the help.
Wow.
Well, tonight, when you're voting for leaders, MCA, MPs, governors, we want to vote for someone who knows our situation,
Yeah.
because they are going to be our representative in those offices,
Yeah.
right? I have heard people say, this is our own. We have brought him up, so he will understand our roads, he will understand what we go through. So we want to send somewhere we cannot all fit. So we want to send someone who can truly represent us. And we believe if he's been through what he's been through, he is able to represent us. And that's how God works.
Yeah. Yeah.
That's why in the Old Testament there was a high priest who, if he comes in the presence of God, he has come on behalf of the entire house of Israel. If he is okay with God, the entire nation is okay with God. If he is not okay with God, the entire nation is in trouble. So in that covenant, it never mattered how good you are as a nation. All it mattered is your high priest. It never mattered how bad you are as a nation. All it mattered is the high priest.
Yeah.
And that's why God said about Aaron to put a ribbon on his head, written holiness to the Lord, that he may bear the wicked minds of the house of Israel. So God does not look at the people, he looks at the high priest.
Yeah. Yeah. Okay.
So the high priest represents the people. That's why Jesus had to become a high priest. Now, before you come to this verse, I want to take us through a journey how we come to this verse, that our high priest is able to understand. In the Old Testament, I want us to see Jesus visiting his people. God has always desired to have a fellowship with the human beings.
Yes.
But God and man, they're in different natures. Man can't understand God. So God somehow has to lower himself low to a level that a human being can relate with him. If God came as God, man would not understand. If today someone comes who is not from my background and trying to advise me, I may feel you're just judging things. You don't understand where I'm coming from. But if I would appreciate more if someone who is coming from the same, who has gone through that, to tell me what he thinks of the situation. I'll feel this person now, because he understands what he is saying this. And this applies more to the teenagers. Before you can advise that super advice you have,
Yeah.
let them know that you feel what they feel. Sometimes they don't need even an advice. They just want to know that you feel their pain. If you make them understand and make them know that you feel what they feel, now they are willing to listen to you. Even as parents. So this is what God wanted to do. He wanted to have a communion with men.
Yeah.
But man is whole in a different world. So Jesus, I'm going to show Jesus in the Old Testament, he used to come to identify with their situation.
Yes. Yes.
It's like dating. Today, he is in us. But before then, he used to visit humanity. But he would come identifying with what they're going through. When the children of Israel were in Egypt, the Bible says, put it like they were going through a furnace of afflictions. You know, like trouble comes like, you know, affliction, fire, you know. So when Jesus wanted to identify with what they're going through, he appeared to Moses like a burning bush. Fire. And that burning, and that fire was burning the bush, but it never consumed.
Yeah.
So Jesus was simply saying, and that was just, by the way, if you read, is the angel of the Lord, capital A. Whenever you see capital A in the Old Testament, that is Jesus.
Yeah. Yeah.
And most of the times, the angel with the capital A is worshipped.
Okay.
Any other angel does not accept worship, because angels should not be worshipped. So if you see an angel in the Old Testament who accepts worship, is Jesus. It's not like any other angel.
Yeah.
So Jesus appeared to Moses like a burning bush. What is he saying? He is saying, I know you're going through the fire, but it will not consume you. Isaiah 43.
Yes.
Even though you go through fire of affliction, you not burn up, you not be consumed. So Jesus came identifying with their situation. I know how it feels to be under fire, and that's why I've come. You know, that's the only way they can understand. So from there, and when God feels your pain, when he identifies your pain, he can't leave you the same. He has to deliver you. That's the good news. If Jesus understands, empathizes with your situation, there's a difference between sympathize and empathize. And the original word used, nowadays they may mean the same, but originally from New King James Version, the word was used was empathize.
Yes.
Today we have sympathize.
Yeah.
The difference is sympathize, you may share with me something I've never gone through, but I can feel you're feeling pain. I'm only sympathizing.
Okay.
But empathizing means I've been where you are today.
Yeah.
I went through something, and now today you're going through the same thing. I not only feel, I can project myself into that very situation. I can understand, I can fully know what you're going through because I've been there before. So the appropriate word there to use is empathize.
Okay.
Not only sympathizing.
Yes.
Anyone can sympathize,
Yeah.
but they may not understand, right? So just want them to know that I feel the pain too. When you feel the pain, he feels the pain.
Yeah.
So he comes down to that level to help you understand that he knows your pain. And from there, when he came in that situation, he never left them in Egypt. That's the good news. If God feels your pain, he can't leave you the same. He delivers you.
Yeah.
So immediately, we see them coming out of Egypt. And on the way in the deserts, where did they reside? In houses? No. In tents.
In tents.
Where was the presence of God during that time? The Ark of Covenant, which symbolizes God's presence, again, in the tents. God does not want a house. He wants a tent.
Yeah.
To identify with them every stage of their journey. If you're going through trouble, all of us are in it. He's not going to stand outside and say, hey, when you're done, come. He just walks with you. When going through the wilderness, just before they entered Canaan, sometime the battle was too fierce. And in Joshua chapter 5, verse 13, Joshua saw a man standing from a distance with his sword drawn. And Joshua asked him, are you on our side or are you on their side? And this man, capital M, and this man said, neither. I have come as the commander of the Lord's army. Who was that? Jesus.
Yeah.
That was Jesus. He's saying, I'm not coming with wings. When you see a soldier with his sword drawn, he's not come to have some party. He's coming for a battle. So just came with his sword drawn. What does it mean? It means I've come to fight with you side by side. So just came. If it's battle, he comes as a soldier to identify with your current situation. And you know what? They won. And now entered Canaan.
Yeah.
And Canaan, God told Joshua, you're going to live in a city you did not build. So when they stopped living in tents, they started living in houses. And where was God that time? The Ark of Covenant? In a house. Every step of the way.
Yeah.
From one glory to another, identifying with them. But that was not enough for God. God wanted to have something more with humanity. It's not enough for God to keep coming and going. Come to the situation. He wanted a better deal.
Yeah.
And now John says, the word became flesh. Emmanuel. God with us. Literally meaning God somehow in man. He doesn't just want to walk side by side. He wants to be you. No, he came as a human being so that he can walk our walk.